at some point in my life, I don't know when, it's been too long ago, but I imagine I picked up a crayon, I made a mark on something, and I looked at that and said, well, that's magic. So the oldest memories I have are drawing.
My name is Ashton Culp, and today I interviewed Michael Davis, who after nearly 30 years of tattooing on and off, is the proud owner of Back Alley Tattoos here in Moorhead, Kentucky, which will be celebrating its 13-year anniversary on June 1st of this year.
There was a time in my life when I said I would never ever get a tattoo because I'd always saw really bad ones, and I knew at a young age I wanted to be an artist. I just didn't know what it was going to be. In the third grade, I did a drawing, and a classmate of mine gave me Jolly Rancher candy for it. So there wasn't a lot of wheels in the head at that age, but the wheels that were there were turning. And the math that I did was, I really like candy, but I'd prefer money. Then I can just buy candy. One of my friends, Dave Castle, we were on the roof of the art building. I hope this don't get you in trouble, but we were on the roof of the art building getting high because we were both potheads at the time. And he says, some of your artwork would be cool for tattoos, man. And I'm like, dude, you're high. And he says, that's beside the point. Look at this magazine. And he gives me a tattoo magazine. I'd never looked at one. And I flipped through it, and I'm like, damn, these dudes can really get down. So I designed my first piece. I drew it up, and I went to Tattoo Charlie's on New Circle Road, which it's still there, and on my 21st birthday. And Mike Hatton did my first tattoo. And as soon as I got out of the chair, I was so happy. I was so excited. I thought, if someone is this happy when I'm done, cool job. I got to learn how to do this.
With his willingness and excitement to join the profession, Davis began the difficult search of finding someone to apprentice him.
Well, I was basically kicking in every door of every shop that I could. And this is in the 90s, the era of what we call Cherry Creek, a lot of flash. You know, this is when you just walked into a shop and you said, I want that, and you pointed to a thing on the wall, and that's what you got. The guys that would look at my portfolio, even if they would look at it and say, well, you're not drawing for tattooing. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And they'd point to the flash sheets on the wall, and they'd be like, you got to do stuff like this. And when I asked if I could hang out and draw from the flash sheets, they were like, no, fuck that. If you ain't getting tattooed, get out, you know.
He finally landed an apprenticeship working under an old high school classmate, and has worked diligently to improve his craft even 30 years later. In this time, Davis has tattooed a large variety of clientele.
You name it, I've tattooed it. There's an old phrase, and it's going to be mean sounding, but 18 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy. I've tattooed 18-year-olds. The oldest person I've tattooed was 87. He was getting his first one at 87. It was on his bucket list. That's cool. I've tattooed preachers, cops, you know, military guys, teachers, every walk of life, you name it. Everybody. You know, fresh out of jail, on their way to jail. You know, everybody. Anything and everything. You name the type of person, I've tattooed them. Subject matter, pick one. I've probably done it. My favorite tattoo would be, it's a really weird one. It's a human centipede Hello Kitty. I like combining, the things that don't go together really make me giggle. So, and those two things don't.
Many artists have their own opinions about the impact reality show tattooing has had on the public, and Davis has this to share.
It's simultaneously the best thing and the worst thing that's ever happened. Part of me really likes the time when it was a way more counterculture thing, but I also like paying bills, so there's that. But they don't have it's not a very realistic portrayal of how it is. People think that you walk in and you get a portrait, an hour later you walk out, and that's not anything of it. They don't show you, in the shows, they're not showing you any of the prep time. They're not showing you what it takes to get something ready to go, how much time it takes to get something ready.
Concluding the interview, Davis had this tip for aspiring tattoo artists.
Draw a lot. Put machines down. Quit tattooing yourselves. Y'all have no idea what you're doing. Half of your stuff looks like shit anyway, so quit doing it. Quit watching these idiots on TikTok tattooing themselves and buying kits at fucking pawn shops. When I see these videos, I can pick out 20 things that's wrong with the process. But if you really want to tattoo, work on your art chops, get your drawing down, and don't just draw one thing. If you're going to be an apprentice, don't send a message saying, hey, I want to be an apprentice. You put, I get that message a lot of, hey, I want to be an apprentice. I'm really passionate. In my mind, I'm like, you're not passionate enough to put on pants and come down here and speak to me. You put forth the minimum effort. You sent a message on Facebook or whatever. In my head, you're not even wearing pants, you know. Start getting tattooed by the people that you want to apprentice under. Don't just walk in saying, I want. Go in and start getting tattooed by them. You know, if you start there, get some tattoos, and then bring that up later. Once I know your name, once I see you on the street, and I can be like, oh, hey, and I call you by name, then holler at me. But just, draw, and keep drawing, and draw more, and quit fucking tattooing yourselves.
My name is Ashton Culp, and this has been my interview with Michael Davis.